Welcome back. You are watching The Core, coming to you live from Channels Television Studios in Abuja. We are discussing unemployment, and you can join the conversation on our social media handles, Twitter at Channels TV, or at Adria Ahmed, or at the Daria Media. Please use the hashtag NGTheCore. We are also on Facebook at Channels Forum. Now, before the break, Ms. Zuwais, we started talking about why unemployment is a problem for a country like Nigeria. We started talking about issues of development and poverty. You are charged with the program under the Office of the Vice President, which is supposed to help, deal with some of these issues. Let me start by asking you, how is that coming along?
Well, I think we've made a lot of progress. We have 4 programs, all of which actually stimulate, employment in various dimensions. And of course, there are issues.
Very quickly and in a very short period, could you tell us quickly what they are?
Well, we have a cash transfer program that targets people that are identified by the community as poor. So we actually visit the communities and we get the information from the community. We visit the households, take the information on a device, and do a proxy means testing formula to rank them, to know who the poorest are. And those are the people that we actually pay. Beyond that, we are collating data on the issues around the communities in terms of the nature of road network, the nearest primary healthcare center, the nearest primary school, and connectivity issues, payment service providers.
Okay, let's start quickly with the cash transfer programs. In how many parts of Nigeria is this program active?
We are now in 21 states. We're building a register, okay, because we're being very careful about who we pay. We're trying to ensure that only the poorest of the poor are paid, because we have, as somebody said, between 70 to 80 million people that are poor. So we're trying to get to the very bottom to see how we can stimulate productivity. And we're organizing the caregivers within those households into cooperatives, and we're paying them 10,000 every 2 months, so 5,000 a month. And we're giving them financial skills training, nutrition information, because we're taking advantage of payday to give that information. And it is looking good, really.
Well, can you tell us the numbers of the people who are on this program?
So far, we're paying just over 120,000.
Okay, people across 21 states.
Yes.
That seems really, really tiny, given the level of poverty that we have.
Yes, it's what we're aiming at. By December, we will be paying at least 500,000.
Right. Okay. So that's one program.
That's one program.
Okay.
We have a government empowerment and enterprise program that gives loans to women, artisans, farmers, an amount of 10,000 to 100,000, and they don't need a collateral, because we're looking at the people at the bottom of the financial pyramid. And we give them 10,000 to 100,000 on with no interest element, but there's a flat administrative fee of 5%. So if you take 50,000 in 6 months, you pay back 52,500.
Are you facing any challenges at all with this program?
Oh yes, we have a lot of, because we insist that all our beneficiaries would be paid directly. So we have issues of location, connectivity when it comes to payments, the level of confidence that some of these beneficiaries have. They're easily intimidated, maybe by their husbands or the politicians or whoever it is that is like the youth around, because they know who they've identified. And on payday, they tend to come around to say, drop something for us. And
okay, now before I sort of speak to the rest of the guests that we have about their thoughts on the programs and whether they are actually effective, one thing struck me as you're talking. You say you insist on paying directly. Now, we know that financial inclusion is a major problem.
Oh, yes.
So actually, the bulk of the poor of Nigeria do not even have bank accounts. In fact, if you have a bank account in Nigeria, chances are that you're privileged.
Yes.
How are we sure you're targeting the right people?
So now we are creating accounts for them. We're generating accounts. We're taking the BVN of everybody, like everybody in Jeep. Unless you have a BVN, you won't get any payment. So that is actually deepening financial inclusion, because we need to be able to track the money, and we need to be able to recover. And we need to ensure that you don't form a cooperative here to collect the money and then go to another place and form. And BVN is the one that addresses those issues.
Okay. At some point, I'm going to come to the Statistician General and see whether he's able to help us with numbers around financial inclusion. But before we do, I'd like to bring in Mrs. Mbanmalu and ask her, you know a little bit, I think, based on the work that you do, about the programs that are being done under the VP's office, under the direction of Mrs. Uwais. What are your thoughts regarding how effective they are in tackling the issue of unemployment?
So for one, I think one thing I found impressive with the program was the provision for accountability, because there was a time there was a call for an M&E for people to apply to monitor the project, which I think is something we've had missing in previous regimes when it comes to economic policies and intervention programs. However, do I think this is going to be effective? I don't think so, because one, let's look at sustainability. So for economic policies, we want to start up a process that whichever government comes in place would want to build upon. And that is where I feel is lacking. So every government comes with a new policy, and we don't, and after 4 years or 8 years, as the case may be, another initiative it's brought on into place.
So we don't have
continuity. We don't have a proper framework that first influences the intervention program. So for one, my first question will be, before we introduced an SIP initiative, was there some level of rigorous research or data? What data did we use? What population? Did we have a population to tell us, okay, this is data of the number of unemployed, data of the number of poor people in these communities? These are the persons. So
let's ask the man
those figures that you need to plan. Yes.